Hi, friends. Welcome to Spilling the EsTea podcast, where we talk the truth about the beauty industry. And I'm so happy to have one of my dear friends, Sid, with us. Sid, she was a former worker bee. I think we kind of decided it was 2018 to summer 2020. You were with
Mhm.
us and you had your solo lash business while you're working with us. And I really, I admired you
I've
because
averaged it.
you literally would go do your lash thing, come to Humblebee, work till 9 or vice versa. And you'd have these long days. And I really loved your hustle back then. It kind of reminded me when I was like young and free, no kids, and you could work those crazy days. And
Yeah.
I really, you're it really, awed me whenever you would, come in, and whenever I worked the same shift as you, I was like, "Oh, Sid's gonna be here."
I know,
So,
me too.
I was always like you always came in with a smile, and I really loved, when you were with us at Humblebee, and, I when you said yes about coming on, I instantly thought, "Wow, you've really, been through it all." Because you worked for a company. I think you even worked for someone prior to us for a while.
Yep, Aveda.
Then you had your lash, business, and then now that you're a mom and married, you're going through that transformation, with your license and, what do you do with your life type of, situation, and it's so cool to see you evolve, and even though I don't see you all the time, I see you on Instagram, and I feel like I still, in it with you.
Yeah,
So
I know it
yeah,
does feel that way. Instagram's good at that.
really good at that. So welcome, Sid.
Thanks. Thank you for the intro. I love it. I follow Humblebee and I obviously follow you. But I love seeing your Spill the ST podcasts because I don't know, something about the podcast world I've always indulged in, whether it was like murder, Call Her Daddy, like all the Dateline. Like
Still
I love the
remember going
world.
to get my lashes done by you, and you would always, have, the best ones, the podcast going all the time.
The murder really is my favorite.
It really is good. Those ones, and it keeps you aware of, okay, stranger danger. It kinda keeps
Mhm.
you in the what not to do space.
Yeah, I scare my husband, that's for sure. I know what to do with a body.
Right?
Just joking.
Oh, so funny. Alright, well, let's talk about your journey. What made you, decide to go into the beauty industry? And not only that, you kinda specifically went into lashes.
Yeah,
That kinda seemed like your passion in the beginning, and it's really cool because to think, lashes back then, it just kind of boomed,
yeah,
recently, you know? S
definitely. And I
s
mean, right now it feels very saturated, but I mean, I think I got in at a really good time. But lashes wasn't something I always wanted to do. It's funny because the things I say I'm not gonna do, I end up doing. Um, and I remember getting my lashes done after high school before I got into the beauty industry, and I remember the lady doing it, and I was like, "This job must suck." Like, it sounds really tedious, and I would not wanna do eyelashes for a living. But, at the time, after high school, I went into college at CSN, and I wanted to specialize in dermatology,
Mhm,
and I
mhm,
realized quickly that school was not for me, and I wanted to take a break and go get my esthetician license so I could work at a dermatology office while I finished college, or at least that was the goal. And so I applied at Aveda and the card just fell into place. And so I went through Aveda and I ended up working for Aveda for about a year after I graduated and then found you guys and then the rest is history. But lashes specifically, Aveda had a partnership with Borboleta Beauty at the time. And Borboleta I feel like was maybe I didn't think it was that big because I didn't know the lash industry, but it definitely felt smaller. So we met the owner and we met some trainers, and they said they were going to hold a class. And since I had an esthetician license, I wanted to be well rounded in everything. So I had options. And I took the course and I realized how therapeutic it was and how easy it was to just sit there and get lost. It kind of reminded me of like an art form.
Mhm.
and I really enjoy art, like, I'm very artsy and creative in that sense. So, I was like, "Man, I can really get lost into people just doing people's eyelashes for 3 to 6 hours." And I mean, I'm sure they didn't appreciate that, but I love just sitting there and doing before and after photos and seeing what they transformed into, and I would be like, "Oh, this is addictive." Like, I wanna keep doing before and after photos. Also too, like you said, it was new at the time, so, because I got in early, it was super lucrative. So,
Yeah.
while all that is true, you make good money doing lashes and I mean, you still do, but at the time, like
Yeah, back then, I remember, like, seeing some prices for lash artists, and I was like, "Oh my god, people spend that much money," and they do. They really
they
did.
do, I know, it's crazy, and my prices are really reasonable, like, all my clients will tell you, but I see a lot of girls charging and then people pay the price. I've gotten a lot of girls who paid $300 for full sets and $150 for fills, like, it's insane.
Yeah, it really is, and they come in, like, monthly, like clockwork, like, it's, like, definitely you can make a lot of money, like, especially back then, like you said, like, then, oh my gosh, like, the prices. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you it is definitely more saturated now, like, seeing so many like, your nail salons are doing it, your
yeah.
all these, places are doing lashes now. But when you first started well, you actually just explained it, what you loved when you first started, like, just getting lost in it.
I mean, it's true, I did love getting lost in it, and at the time before I started listening to podcasts because the podcast came after I started getting really busy and I had times that I had to be done and over with, but before that, I really love, like, building the connections with people, and I feel like it's really easy to talk to people with their eyes shut.
Yeah.
Like, you
Oh,
can it's like looking at people in the eyes, you're like, "Okay, I'm gonna look away now. Have I been staring at you for too long?" Like, but with people's eyes shut, I feel like you can talk and it flows easier and you get really deep with people. Like, we're
oh,
both each other's therapists, and I know a lot about people and their lives that they probably don't even share with their best friends, and things my family and friends may not know because it feels like a safe space and like two people just talking.
oh,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, that's, like, the best part, I feel like, of the beauty industry in general, like, creating those connections and being
because
friends.
they're strong and they sit and you know those people, like they just stick with you and you're like, "How's your son?" It's your I don't know. I have people who have, like, lost people in their lives, and it's like when you see someone over and over again, you're like, "Oh, it's so and so's death anniversary," or it's like, "How are you holding up today?" Like, they become family,
Really.
and even though it doesn't seem like that because we don't hang out often, every time I do see them, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, it
Mhm.
feels like, "Okay, that's how we're staying connected." I mean, other than that, though, I also felt like I played a key factor in women's beauty routines, and I liked being somebody's lash girl. Like, people would be like, "Oh, you need a lash girl? Like, my lash girl does this," and
Yes.
I would see all these really beautiful women who wear eyelashes, and I'm like, "That's because of us," you know? Like, we're doing that for you guys.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you always know, like, oh, they have a good lash girl, or they do always say that, "Oh, my lash girl." I'm like, "Oh,
Yep,
man, they're spreading the love for you guys."
for real, and it's like a girl's girl job. Like, I mean, I think the beauty industry all is, but you just felt like you'd see industry workers and you'd be like, I'm on your team. Like, I'm helping you. You're helping me. I'm helping you.
Right?
You just
Especially Vegas, because it was funny because when I was in San Francisco and lashes weren't really that big there, like, I actually did them and had a couple clients there, but when I moved to Vegas, I'm like, "Wow, lashing is, like" it was really big in Vegas, and that was, like,
yes.
2013 or so.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of like were really cool. You were labeled like the cool girl, or if you did lashes, and I mean, naturally, I
Yeah,
enjoy.
that's why you're like, I wanna be a lash girl."
Yes, I was like, please, this is where I'm gonna thrive,
So did
and I
you
did.
Yeah, you really did. Yeah, I feel like, I was trying to kind of remember everything, but when you got out of school and then you worked for a place. Were you lashing prior? Or did you have your studio prior? Because I know when you worked with us, you had your lash studio and you were working with us.
Yes. So I actually worked for Aveda's corporate store and I was like their esthetician. I was strictly doing facials at the time, which is what I thought I wanted to do. But who the people who own Aveda's school out here also own a couple stores, which is why I got the job. So that partnership they had with Borboleta kind of migrated into their storefronts.
Mhm.
And they were exploring wanting to do lash extensions, but they weren't sure how to, like, translate it into, like, an Aveda holistic Ayurvedic style.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I took a couple people, but no, I my best friend Kylie, actually, who I used to share a room with her, she graduated beauty school a little bit before me, and she had her own studio and a great clientele, and she was like, "Hey, if you wanna take clients at my studio on my off days," like, it was Sunday and something, "take a few clients, see how you like it, and just work from there," and so I did, and it was probably, like, 2 people a month, but it was, like, the 2 people I got to practice on and make a little bit of money off of, like, it was just super cool. So, no, I didn't fully transition into my own studio until, I before I got hired on with you guys, but after I left Aveda.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I was trying to think of the timeline. I was like, wait, I know you're working somewhere. That makes sense because I remember, I think I saw you once when you were there, and then I think when you left is when you officially transitioned into your own studio. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
How was
After I left Humblebee, yes, I it
that?
was after 2020 when, like, the strict guidelines, we were like, "We can't be in a room together." So, yeah, after 2020's craziness, I got my own room, which was, scary, but
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. How was that transition, to finally like, okay. And I remember when you gave the notice, we both cried. I was like,
you
"See,
remember
I love my baby."
I know, no, I was like I felt like I was so, like, letting you down because I was like, "I love sugaring, but it's just I'm pulled towards lashes."
Yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
I totally understood because, I mean, I would see you go in and out, and you were probably getting busier with your lashes and everything, so it totally made sense. And
yeah,
you were just so good at lashes, like, oh my gosh, I loved getting mine done by you, I miss it.
I
But
know.
how was that
And
transition when you, like, finally decided, "I'm gonna go off on my own and do lashes in my own studio?" How was that?
It was really scary, but it I guess when I started my own lash business, it was after long hours, you're right, like, I would start at Humblebee, and then after my shift at Humblebee, I go off to my lash studio up the road and take, like, 3 or 4 clients, and so it turned into, like, 12, 14-hour days. Then I was trying to do as many lashes as I could on the weekend. So then it turned into 6 to 7 days a week I was working those crazy hours, and while it was nice because it got us a house, I paid for my wedding or, me and my husband, but, like, I brought us all this stuff, I was like, "Okay, I gotta slow down," and it was funny because my husband, Casey, was like, "Alright, I just miss my wife, I wanna have dinners with her, I wanna,
Yeah.
figure it out," and so I was like, "Okay." The only thing that made sense at the time too was having to give up one or the other, and admittedly, I just love lashing, again, the revenue was real nice, and I was like, "Okay, I think I can do this," and I mean, I we were kind of forced into so the girl I shared a room with at the time, my friend, Kylie, she and I were like, "We can't be 6 feet apart in this COVID era." So, we were kind of forced into having to go off by ourselves, which was definitely I was like, "How am I gonna pay the rent?" I'm also quitting one of my jobs, like, this is so scary, but it's crazy how when you finally, like, get into something uncomfortable and force yourself to do something, things just fall into place. So, it gave me more opportunity to accept new clients, and I didn't have to work even though I did, but I didn't have to necessarily work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. It just
Right.
made more sense for me that way. But I mean, I did love sugaring. It's just if I had to choose between the 2 too, sugaring is tasking on your body. Like, I remember at Humblebee, you would get Brazilians, which you I love Brazilians, but then you'd, like, throw a full leg in there, and depending on how tall a person is, like, that is a serious body commitment for yourself. Like, you are flinging your hands, standing in squat positions, like, all the things,
Yeah,
and at the end
kind of
of the
like
day, I'd be, like,
that
sweating.
too. Yeah, like all
Yeah.
the conversations because 'cause they're like 30, 15-minute appointments, so back to back
Yep.
like that, new conversations, a new client comes in, you have to give them a whole spiel about why it's good. So it's a lot of work, and then you're moving your hands at the same time. Yeah.
Yes, and really, you're, like, tired at the end of your shift. You're like, "Ah," and then with lashing, it's like, I sit there, I'm just doing this, like, there's no physical activity involved whatsoever, so I was like, "Okay, the pros list is looking real
Yeah.
nice for lashing."
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and then so what, s do you feel like the industry is changing at all? Like the lash industry in general or
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I feel like after having my first son, um and at the time, lashes were still good, but I had to take a maternity leave. I wanted to take a maternity leave. And so would either put people on lash breaks where they said they would take 2 months off, come to me afterwards. That sounded great. I wanted everyone to do that. Like, don't go cheat on me with somebody else. Like, just wait for me. But during that time, people were like, what's an alternative? And I was like, I don't know. I've heard of this thing called Lashify. Like,
Mm.
I know. I should whatever. Anyways, so, 'kay, they were doing their Lashify thing, taking a break, whatever. Other people I either sent to Kylie or if people found their own lash person. So when I ended up coming back from my maternity leave, I realized that a lot of people wanted to stay on breaks, loved using Lashify, or stayed with the person they found because my schedule now went down to, like, 5 days a week, weekends off, getting off by 5 p.m. It's
Yeah.
not ideal for everybody. It's, like, really a 9 to 5. So I started seeing TikToks and, like, the algorithm, like, it was almost, like, validating this feeling where, like, my schedule was getting slower, and I started seeing TikToks of people being like, "Oh, I took off my lashes after 6 years of having them, and I feel so free," and then you'd click on the comments, and the comments were like, "Hey, like, they don't look good anyways, like, let's boycott lashes," and I'm like, "No," like, me and my friend Kylie would literally send it back and forth to each other, we were like, "I don't like this. What's happening to the lash industry?"
Yeah.
Also the natural, like, Hailey Bieber really started a movement, man, like, everyone wanted to be glowy and natural and as minimalistic with makeup as possible, and lashes just were not it anymore, and I mean, there's people that I have who are like, "I'm never giving up my lashes," which we love you guys, but
Yeah.
I also get with flowing with the trends, and that took over.
Yeah, it really and there's, like, really good mascaras too that kinda do the same, and yeah, the Lashify is something that I was like, "Wow, there's, like, subscriptions," and, like, they kind of got it down, to,
And
like
honestly, I have friends who continue to use Lashify, and I'm like, "Do you have your lashes done?" And they're like, "No, girl, it's Lashify." I'm like, "That
no,
looks
there's
really
that
good."
wow. Wow.
Dude, yeah,
That's incredible.
business, man.
I'm still not I haven't tried them or anything. I think I'm too afraid of I don't know. I'll do strip lash, but I don't
Same.
know. I'm not sure about it yet. I don't think I'm that skilled to be that close to my eye with the
Glue. I
glue. Yeah,
I'm not even for on myself, I'm like, "I'll stick with the mascara, okay?"
yeah,
We're
exactly. Yeah, especially like too, and when you become a mom, things change too. So like getting those extra
yes.
things that are a little longer kind of go get pushed to the side sometimes.
It's non-existent, hence my
Yeah.
all you got was mascara today, I'm
You look
sorry.
beautiful. You look good all the time. Well, since you were talking about like motherhood, how has that really changed like your career and has that changed anything?
Um, yeah, I mean, motherhood really puts into perspective, like, what's important in life and what you're willing to negotiate and settle for, and, um, I didn't like, when I got pregnant with my first, I remember telling everyone, like, "Don't worry, I'll be back, it's only gonna be 2 months," and everyone's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, why wouldn't I be?" And so, after having your children, and I'm sure you definitely can relate, it's like that love that everyone talks about where you're like it makes you cry because you love them so much. And I was like, "Why do I work? Like, what? We should all be millionaires, and I should be able to stay at home and be a homemaker," Like, what the heck? And so when my son went to daycare and I got back from maternity leave, I remember just trying to figure it out. Like, how could I not do this anymore? And that wasn't an option. Like, we both had to work, and especially in
Mhm.
this economy, like,
Yep.
I can't stay at home. Like,
Yep.
and I also wanted to give my kids a good life. So I was like, "Okay, well, who has really good schedules that also pays well? And what am I even interested in?" So after having my first son, I had an incredible postpartum nurse, and she just taught me all things baby, all the facts. It made me deep dive into baby research, and I can tell you, like, babies' crying languages. I can tell you the best pacifier for a baby, like, all breast milk. I can talk to you about lactation all day. But, um, I was like, "Okay." So I was thinking about it, and I was like, "Well, the only thing I enjoy talking about would be motherhood." And I've kinda liked nursing, like, all my clients who are nurses, I ask them crazy questions, and it's interesting. So I was like, "Well, maybe I could become a nurse." And so I decided back in
Mhm.
summer of 2024 to redirect my entire life pretty much. I decided that maybe I should get something more steady, something that has, financial security and a retirement plan and all the things, because I also didn't love coming back to my salon and having empty books. Like, the days I would have empty books, it almost felt like, "Oh my gosh, you're not contributing anything to your family. Are you gonna keep struggling like this and maybe not be able to give your kids, like, cool vacations?" And I know that's not what it's all about, but, like, as a parent, you want to do that for your kids. You're, like, responsible for their childhood. So, yeah, I made the leap to go back to school last summer for nursing. So,
Wow, that's so cool. I think it's so
yeah.
cool that you kinda, like, really chose. I feel like everyone has their idea of success, and, like, your success is, like, being a good mom, being, like, like, doing the thing, like, to have your family be secure and, like, not have to worry about those slow day or slow months sometimes, you know?
Yes.
And it's so, like, inspiring to see, like, wow, you went straight to, like, "Okay, I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna go back to school." And that's hard work, girl. Like, I have nightmares that I didn't graduate high school and I have to go back to school. So, I feel like we kinda went d like, you went straight, like, school, family, like, very, like, like, having a paycheck. Like, how nice is that, you know?
And people, like, as much as I love being, like, my own, like, person and my own boss, I just don't think that drive was there because you do make good money, like, if
Yeah.
you work for it and you're not
Mhm.
lazy.
Yeah.
But then it's like, yeah, when you're weighing out the pros and cons of what you're right, what you want in life, it was like, "Okay, I don't wanna miss a single second. I wanna be there as much as possible. How can I work as little as possible, still be there?" And yeah, I mean, it is definitely doable. Like, people can be so successful doing their own thing, but for me, I think I just got lazy, and I didn't wanna try as hard, and of course, that you pay for it with, like, slower books and, you know,
Mhm. Yeah, and you
not
can
doing
kinda
much.
see, like, when you're scheduled, you're like, "Okay, well, you're not if you don't get, like." I feel like for me, when I, was transitioning, like, when I being a mom and having Humblebee, when I decided to hire someone, it really was out of, "Well, we have to, otherwise, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm just gonna be in this room and, have to not take as many clients and
Yeah.
have less money too, like, that kinda spiraled in my head, so that's kinda why I kinda went opposite direction of like, "Okay, we'll just
Yep,
hire and see how it goes," and but, I was really lucky because Olivier, he had I always call it the big boy job, where he had
yep.
the insurance and all of that, and mine was just more, "Okay, well, whatever I make, it will go to the new worker so that we can pay them," kinda thing, until it kinda got, to where it is now, but yeah, it's those decisions, like, where to go, like, where would I been if I was like, "I don't know, I don't wanna hire anybody," you know? And
Right.
everyone has, like, their paths, and it's kinda cool to see people's directions in this industry in particular, because you really can go several directions.
And it's so true. I mean, I think when we're in the service room, sometimes we feel like we've like hit a cap and it's like
Mhm.
kind of just this repetition of like, okay, everyday thing. And so I think the next move, if I wanted to stay in the industry, would have been like buying a studio salon or um, having workers, but then that was also another investment and more time, and it's like, yeah, you're right, it is interesting to see what way people go. Because I was like, "Okay, I give up, like, I don't wanna, like, push myself anymore, I've done it already, like, give me something new," and this new is
Yeah.
harder, but
I think it's you're gonna I think you're in a you decided something I think that is so for you. Like, being a
thank you.
nurse and, like, taking care of people, like, it's so in your nature from what I know of you that I think it's just gonna be it's such a great experience and learning experience for you. So, I'm so happy for you, and
Thank
I'm
you
happy
so
that
much.
you came on and spread the news on here.
Yeah. No, for sure, I mean, honestly, I didn't think that I would ever do this because school I've never been into school, and school's hard, but, like, being in your late 20s and having to, like, give up like, I've been in the beauty industry since when did I graduate? 2017? So, I mean, that's almost a decade in, like, 2 years,
That's a while.
and you do feel like I built something for sure, and so it feels like a really sad chapter to give up, but, like, I did everything that I wanted to do, and I was able to be my own entrepreneur and make my own schedule and make my own prices and do all the things, but then, yeah, when you put it all into, like, a big spreadsheet and you're like, "'Kay, well, what are my things that I don't want to, like,
Right.
give
It's all
up?"
about timing, like, putting yourself back, like, where you're at now, when you have kids and just everything changes as you get older and it's just a totally I forgot what I was gonna say.
I get that. Mom brain. I get that. That is me. I'm, like, stay on task.
I was, like, saying it, but then it just distorted. Yeah, but
I relate to that so much. It happens every day.
going way faster. Okay, back on topic. We'll cut that out.
Well, never happened.
Um, yeah, but I feel like everything is, about time. Like, I was someone totally different, like, in my 20s, 30s, now I'm in my 40s, and things that I could have done back earlier, I couldn't do now. Like, I can imagine, like, having the kids and, like, opening, like, starting Humble Bee from scratch type of thing. Like, I
Oh,
had a
yeah.
couple years before it. So, timing kinda directs you where you end up going, and your journey seems so exciting and your future seems so bright, and I'm really happy for you.
Thanks. I mean, yeah, you're right. Timing does definitely play out, and it's fun to, like, look at it because, I mean, at the time when I worked for Humblebee, I feel like there was only 8 people.
Yeah, I was
And I mean, I can definitely name all the people, so I'm pretty sure there was only 8 people, and
there were like I
I
I
feel
counted
like
people on my fingers, like, when you were there.
yes, and I feel like we were, like, a really close-knit, like, that was, like, truly small business, like,
Yes.
you were, like, one of us, you didn't feel like our boss, like, it was just, like and the people you hired, we all even though we were different, we all had very similar attributes that, like, contributed to the humble, like, objective.
Oh, for
of
sure.
Humblebee, and you remember, like, membership gifts? We would, like,
Yeah, we'd
make
all
we
kinda get
the first membership gift was the soap, and I remember us going to your house and, it just the whole thing is very, like, I don't know. It just is a crazy whirlwind because we started with you and, like, you were an amazing boss. I feel like, yeah, you hired people who were very similar, and then it made it easier to, like, come to you with anything because you didn't feel like our boss and you don't have, like, the stereotypical boss reaction to things. Like, we're very flexible and easygoing, and I feel like I took that into my business as a lash artist, and that was another good thing about being my own boss is, like, you could and I saw this in Humblebee, but, like, if someone was upset or, like, you were running late or you had to cancel and reschedule, you have the flexibility to be like, "Okay, this one's on me today," or "Let me add a free service on there," or "Let me do this," because it really is important. Like, you have to take care of your people
yeah, customer
because
service.
ultimately it's a exchange. Like,
Mhm.
you not only wanna take care of them because you're your clients, but, like, those are your walking advertisements,
Absolutely.
for
Yeah.
free.
I always say we're not in the beauty industry, we're in the customer service industry. And if
It's
you're not good
true.
to your clients, your books will show it. You'll have hardly anyone on your schedule. Like,
I
it's
know.
down to that, like, specifically, I feel.
And I feel like a lot of people are missing that these days. It's sad, but it's like, yeah, the beauty industry is really lucrative, but it's all about it's the connection you make with people. And I mean, I have a lot of clients who I still see, like, here and there, and they, like, come to me and this is not to brag, this is literally what they say. They're like, "I just enjoy, like, your conversation and hanging out with you," and that is, like, the best compliment. Like, who cares about my work? Like, you just wanna hang?
Mom too, you're probably, like, kinda like having those, adult conversations thrown in and out of your, like, month or so,
Yes, I'm like, "Ooh, tell me, let's talk adult things.
right?
Let's talk about all the taboo topics that they say not to talk about."
Exactly. That's
I
so
just need a
funny.
friend.
That's awesome. That's cool that you're still kinda taking some people, though.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really, like, 5 people a month, but it's to, like, help with my sanity a little bit. Honestly, if I could do lashes up until and with my 5 people a month, that's fine, but if I could do that up until I'm even a nurse and then some just for, like, a fun thing, because I mean, I didn't just go to school and spend all that money for nothing. Like, I think now I enjoy lashes more than ever because before I was just hustling people in and out. Like, those were long days, those were long hours. I guess those are 2 of the same things, but,
Yeah.
they're it's just, you're not even thinking about it. You're getting people in and out. And now I found the beauty in, like, lashing again, and I can be artsy and creative, and it's therapeutic again. So, I take the hour, 2 hours out of my week to go and do that, and I feel like I do even a better job than I did when I was.
Because you wanna do it, like, just like,
Yeah,
sometimes you just go in like, "Oh, man, I have to," like but you just go in and do it, but now you get to, like, enjoy it. You get to, like, go and be like, "Oh, I found my passion again. I get to get lost in the lash." So,
totally. You do get lost in the lot. Yeah,
I still am in awe of lash artists. I'm like, I think maybe because I can't see well and I'm, like, double vision. I tried doing lashes, and I was like, "Ah, I'm gonna stick with sugaring."
yeah, yeah, and me, I'm like sometimes I'll, like, sugar my own legs, and I'm like, "Oh gosh, I haven't done this in a while, it's not coming off." Also, it's the mind over matter.
Right?
Sugaring yourself is like, "No thanks."
Well, so tell me, what advice would you give someone, like, coming out of school and coming into the industry, like, at this time?
I would say first, just because it wasn't for me doesn't mean it's not for you. So, I think although my passion has shifted to my children and doing something different, um I did put my heart into my business, and when you actually work for something and you're not lazy and you're committed, you can absolutely do it.
Mm.
But I also think that once you're done with school, you should definitely go and work for somebody because you don't actually start learning until school's done. And I mean, yes, you know sanitation in school, you know a couple techniques, but you truly do not know the industry until someone takes you under their wing and you like learn a couple different things. So I'd say work for somebody, practice your craft, even if it takes a couple years. I mean, you really don't gain your clientele until unfortunately, the 3rd year, and I hated people telling me that because it sounded so pessimistic, but it's true. I mean, you really have to work on your technique and find what really drives you and your own artistic take on whatever you do, whether that's lash lifts, lash extensions, sugaring, like all the brows. Like,
Mhm.
you really have to take time to find who you are. And then when you are ready, find someone to share a room with. Like, you don't have to deep dive into an entire room by yourself because you're probably still not gonna be ready when you're ready to go on your own. And when you
We
share it with
never are.
somebody, yeah, you can both branch off each other. And I mean, find someone who's in the same path as you, someone who's also starting up for the first time, who's been practicing their skill for a while. Um, I think that saying, like, "How do you eat an entire cow?" Which I know you probably hate me saying, but how do you eat an entire cow? It's, like, by eating a little bit at a time, like, that's kinda what you have to do after you're finished with school. And I mean, you could probably say too that Groupons really help once you're trying to get people. I did a crazy promotion trying to get Lash people in the door once I went off on my own. It was like a stamp card, and it was every 5 people gets a half off fill, and then every 10th visit, you get a free fill. And I mean, I did that up until I know, but it did get me a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
And then people just like your work, so they stick with you. And then the new year comes and you can renegotiate whatever you want. But I
Oh, for
mean,
sure.
there's that. And I mean, have reasonable prices too. Like, be competitive with your pricing. You don't have to charge a whole lot just to work a lot less. Like, if you have reasonable pricing and respectable pricing, people will come to you. And I mean, what was the other thing I was going to say?
'Cause
Right?
you're giving so much good, like, good nuggets, like, these are some really good things, like, I really feel people fresh out of school really should do. I mean, I right when I got out of school, I worked for a place for 6 years,
Yeah.
and I really learned so much under I still even call her my boss. I
Yeah.
learned so much from that experience, so I really agree with you, like, work for someone for a while, gain that knowledge, take as much information as you can from whoever you work from,
It's
and then,
true.
if you're ready to go on your own, go on your own.
And I mean, sometimes people aren't even like super down with going on their own and you don't have to. That's
Mhm.
just like your next step. But yeah, there's people who are like lifetime workers who just love to work, and that's great too. But I definitely think whatever you do, you take the time to practice your craft. And if that means not charging somebody for 6 months, like I didn't charge people for lashes for 6 months until I felt confident. Just ask to donate their time.
Yep.
It took me 4 to 6 hours to do a full set. And in the end, I get content and I got to build my portfolio and they get a new set of lashes and all they had to do not all they had to do because I know that was a commitment, but all they did I shouldn't even say all. What they did was donate their time,
Yeah.
and I couldn't have asked for anyone better. I mean, and I think it is a little bit crazy, hot take, that people charge right off the bat when there's still a lot to learn. Like, you're not doing your 100% best because you don't know it yet. So, yeah, I would say definitely take a few months to just practice. Don't don't rush
Definitely.
your
It's
into
so
it.
important to, like, learn the skill because not only that, like, some people fresh out of school, they're learning not only the skill of, like, the actual task, but those soft skills of, like, being able to talk to someone while working and, that's really hard for, like, a lot of people to do and, like, to kinda read the room. Like, "Okay, this
Yes.
person maybe doesn't want me to chat so much," or, "Maybe I'm talking too much about myself." Learning those skills as well is really a whole package when coming into the industry and working at a place. I feel like you kinda learn all that in your first year or so.
Yes, 100%, and navigating things, and I think Humblebee's a really good. I mean, you guys provided a lot of clients for us. We were all pretty fresh out of school. I think I was, like, a year out of school when I started with you guys, and even though I had worked for a place before, Humblebee's where I really got, like, the thick of what clients can be like, and while I had amazing clients, I mean, there's still that one that, like, throws you in for a loop, and they're, like, totally, totally not your vibe, and that's fine because not everyone's gonna be your vibe, but then you have to learn how to navigate that, and your
Mhm.
professionalism comes on and what
Yep.
you teach us, and you have to figure that out. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of value in working for a company right out of school.
Yep. Well, I'm so happy to have you on here, and I was happy that you're like one of our first really employees, and I was so excited to have you come on and talk about your journey. And thank you so much, Sid, for being here.
Of course, and thanks for asking me. I'm so happy that I got to catch up with you and talk, because
Right.
how often do I really get to do that? I'm actually gonna go pick up my sons in an hour. Like,
Oh, well, dude, seriously,
no.
taking time out of your day, like I know how hectic mom life is, and just thank you so much.